Hi, my name is Gerhard Schwanten and welcome to Selling Power TV. Today, we have the great pleasure of meeting with Andy Miller, and he is the CEO of Big Swift Kick, a leading consulting company. Hi, Andy.
Hello, Gerhard. Thanks for having me. Good to see you.
Andy, I read your bio and I read your LinkedIn profile, and I want to know is what should we know about you that's not officially in your LinkedIn profile?
I like to have fun. I've always been a fun kid. I'm still a kid, just trapped in an adult body. But no, listen, what we all do for a living should be fun. I love what I do. This is sport for me, and that's not in the bio.
And I also was impressed with the fact that you and the Tony Robbins DVD modeling the Master Series. How did you get that?
It's kind of funny because I've always just been a guy who pursued his passion and didn't necessarily say, I'm at point A, I want to be to point B, and here's how I get there. But his organization had been a client of mine, and he does an annual business event and asked me if I would speak on stage and be part of the Modeling the Masters series. So, by working with his organization, I got exposure and the invitation, and I took it.
So tell us about Big Swift Kick. I love the name.
Well, thank you. Everybody seems to get a chuckle out of it, and it's like I'm not a dojo, I'm not a soccer coach, but Big Swift Kick came around because we looked at what do we do, and what do we do is we help sales organizations accelerate performance, and sometimes that requires a little kick in the butt, like our mom and dad used to give us. So we thought, well, let's just pick a name that describes who we are and how we work.
We still live in the years of the pandemic, and we don't know how long it's going to go on like this, but we have been forced to adopt a virtual sales model. Yeah. How have you helped your clients make that transition?
Part of the challenge has been, how do we stay positive? Because you're big on mindset. I'm big on mindset. There's two approaches, right? You can look at it and go, gloom and doom, we're in trouble. Or you can look at it and go, well, there's always hope and possibility. So part of my focus was, guys, you get what you focus on. Let's focus on hope and possibility, and between teaching them how to be more effective virtually, which was really fundamental, and focusing on what they wanted versus the gloom and the doom. All of them, their businesses were up over the previous year.
When it comes to looking ahead in 2022, what do you see as the biggest challenge that companies are facing right now?
Where do we find salespeople? That is the number one challenge.
So how do you overcome that challenge and come ahead?
The first thing is people want flexibility. They don't want to be sitting in an hour of bumper to bumper rush hour. They want more balance in life, that freedom and flexibility to work virtually. I think there's another issue too, which kind of gets into the mistakes that companies make. And that is, be honest about what the job really is. Because when I look at the 4 or 5 most common mistakes companies make, they misrepresent the job. I don't think they misrepresent it intentionally. I think they don't understand what the job is.
So you are also a big believer in assessments. Tell me about that.
There's a lot of bias built into the process. And most of the time that bias is, I want to hire somebody who's like me. The reason I'm a big fan of assessments is assessments help greatly or significantly minimize the bias that comes into the recruiting process. Use the right kind of assessment, save yourself a lot of time, only talk to the people who are a fit, and you'll hire much faster, because right now with the best talent's gone in 2 to 3 weeks. So speed to hire is critical. Assessments facilitate that.
So how do you distinguish between the assessment that is more like a psychological amusement and whereas very few very effective and science-based assessment tools that can predict performance on the job?
I'm using an assessment because I want to hire somebody who can perform and actually do the job. Right? In the case of a salesperson, I want to know if they can sell and hit quota. That's right. So there's my bias, right? Now, when I look at assessments, my question is, will this assessment tell me if this person can hit quota based upon my environment, how I want them to sell, my price point, the level of competition, level of pressure that we have? If you look at behavior assessments, all it tells you is, if I use a dog analogy, nice dog, mean dog, lazy dog, it doesn't tell you if the dog will hunt. So if you look at personality and behavioral assessments, they're only 20% predictive, according to Schmidt and Hunter. The best assessments are considered a multi-measurement assessment. So it measures multiple things, not just personality, not just behavior, not just attributes. And those tend to be 75% predictive. You know, if you're trying to increase your odds of finding out, can this candidate really produce and hit quota? I want to stack the odds in my favor as much as I can. I'm going to use a multi-measurement assessment specifically designed for sales.
I also want to share with the audience that you have a new book coming out that will be released in January. What is the title?
How to Hire Quota-Busting Sales Teams.
How can people learn more from your insights? Where can they go?
If they go to bigswiftkick.com and click on the resource tab, you'll see there's some guides there already that they can download. I've got an interview guide. I've got a hiring process guide. I've got a couple other onboarding guide. They can download the guides, and when the book comes out, we will send out an announcement to everybody.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Andy, for this conversation. I cannot wait to read your book.
Gerhard, thank you very much. Good to see you again.